Let me just show you a portion of the damage that this flooding did to this community.
Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for when the most entitled, rudest, and most self-centered people, aka Karens, had a massive tantrum, causing very expensive damage.
Everett's cameras captured her coming back throughout the night to do more damage.
Number 20. Wing Clipper. In 2023, a Karen walked into a Wingstop in Midland, Texas to collect an order she'd made online. However, the store had a policy that required collectors of digital orders to show their credit cards. Well, this lady didn't have hers. Instead, she showed the server a card that had a male name on it, so they refused to give her the order. After attempting to argue her case and getting nowhere, she exploded in rage. The Karen pushed over 2 cash registers and various items, causing around $21,000 in damages. She then attempted to confront the manager around the counter, only to be stopped. After a plea to identify the woman, she spoke to the police about her actions. Number 19. Dirty in the Sky. There are plenty of cases of people having too much to drink on a plane, but none are more chaotic than Gerard Finneran.
It's hard to believe that Gerard Finneran was thinking at all when he did the things that got him arrested, returning to New York from Buenos Aires.
In 1995, the investment banker was aboard United Airlines Flight 976 from Buenos Aires, Argentina to New York City. Sitting in first class, he demanded to get into the crew area to nap, stole various drinks from the galley after being refused more, and issued threats. Then Finneran crouched on top of the drinks trolley and relieved himself behind it. Yikes. But he wasn't done as he smeared his mess through the cabin.
Within hours of the plane's landing, the gross incident became national news.
After pleading guilty, Finneran was handed 2 years of probation and fined $5,000. He also paid $1,000 in cleaning costs and $48,000 to reimburse other passengers' tickets. Number 18. Fence Fury. Imagine arguing with your neighbor over something annoying 1 minute, then the next, they've committed mass destruction in the community.
Now, there's that saying that goes, good fences make good neighbors. Well, earlier today in Port Angeles, this property owner was putting up a new fence when his neighbor decided to take it down, along with much of the neighborhood.
It might be an overreaction, right? Well, in 2013, that's what Barry Squeagle did in Port Angeles, Washington. After complaining about his neighbor's fence as it made it difficult to maneuver his heavy machinery, Squeagle got in his bulldozer and went on a rampage. On top of destroying the fence, he damaged 4 homes, several vehicles, and a boat. He also took down a power pole, cutting off power for thousands of properties.
He's always been a threat to the neighbors and been a threat to Barbara. This has been an ongoing thing.
According to the prosecution, Squeagle caused around $400,000 in damage. After pleading guilty, he was handed 29 months in prison and had to pay $38,000 in restitution. Number 17. Beeping annoying. Repetitive sounds can be irritating, sure. Yet one janitor at Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute let his noise annoyance go too far in 2020.
One janitor at an upstate New York university allegedly got annoyed while on the job, and his reaction supposedly ruined $1 million worth of research.
Employed by Daigle Cleaning Services, the worker heard an aggravating beep noise from one of the facility's freezers, so he turned the machine off. Unfortunately, the janitor ignored the sign on the freezer that requested people to not switch it off. Inside the appliance were various samples that needed to be kept at a cold temperature and had been worked on for over 20 years, all of which were ruined.
The university apparently says they don't blame the janitor himself. They say he's not at fault.
In 2023, the institute issued a lawsuit against Daigle Cleaning Services, who they blamed for not training the worker properly, claiming the research damage cost $1 million. Number 16. Pricey protest. Rather than protest in a healthy, constructive way, Maximo Caminero decided the best method was to destroy artwork.
Despite being told not to touch the display, the man destroys an Ai Weiwei vase worth an estimated $1 million and shocks art lovers the world over.
In 2014, Florida's Perez Art Museum Miami was displaying work by Chinese artist Ai Weiwei. Caminero, a Miami artist, hated this as he wanted the museum to showcase creations by local creators, so he picked up one of I's vases. When a guard told him to put it down, Caminero did, but dropped it and let it smash on the floor. The destroyed vase was worth $1 million. After pleading guilty, Caminero received 18 months of probation, was told to work 100 hours on a community art project, and ordered to pay the vase's insurance company $10,000 in restitution.
Perhaps a high price for destroying a highly valued artwork.
Number 15. Art critic. In 1986, the Netherlands Stedelijk Museum Amsterdam was displaying Barnett Newman's Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue 3. Local artist Gerard Jan van Bladeren wanted to make a name for himself.
Natuurlijk is Who's Afraid een doek wat veel besproken is, waar mensen zeggen dat het niet goed is gerestaureerd, dat het niet meer het magnetische heeft wat het vroeger had.
So he attacked the painting with a knife, earning him 5 months in jail. Since Newman had died in 1970, Daniel Goldreyer restored the work, which was back on display in 1991. However, there were criticisms that he'd removed Newman's subtlety. In response, Goldreyer issued a $125 million defamation suit against Amsterdam and the museum. It's believed that the damage, restoration, and lawsuit cost around $1 million. In 1997, Van Bladeren attempted to slash the painting again for its shoddy restoration.
Ik ben er niet bang voor, maar wel geïntimideerd door. Kijk, dit is zo'n onbescheiden schilderij als je er naar kijkt.
However, because he couldn't find it, he attacked a different Newman piece. Number 14. Hacking Rampage. In 2014, Brian Johnson from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, saw his world collapse when he was fired as the IT specialist and systems administrator at manufacturing business Georgia Pacific. Instead of updating his LinkedIn profile, Johnson took a far more sinister approach. While working remotely, he signed into the company's system and messed with the control operations. Johnson's revenge caused over $1.1 million in damages to Georgia Pacific's production. Unfortunately, considering his skill set and that he likely held a grudge after being fired, it didn't take long for the cops to come calling and find a load of evidence. In 2017, after pleading guilty, Johnson was sentenced to 34 months in jail. Number 13. Date disaster. We've all been on dates that haven't worked out for one reason or another, but not many result in this much disaster.
We'll talk about a first date fail. Police in Houston say a woman who was on a first date with a prominent lawyer caused at least $300,000 of damage to his art collection.
In 2017, after going out, Lindy Lou Lehman went back to prominent lawyer Anthony Busby's home in Dallas, Texas. However, because she was heavily intoxicated, Busby tried to get her to leave, but she refused. This caused her to pour red wine over the lawyer's prized artwork, including 2 Andy Warhol pieces valued at $500,000 each. Lehman also shattered 2 statues worth $20,000 each. Altogether, she caused $300,000 in damage to Busby's collection. Unsurprisingly, Lehman was charged for her tantrum. However, the case was dismissed after she agreed to 120 hours of community service.
Pretty sure there's no second date in the works for them.
I don't think so.
Number 12. Football Feyenoord Fury. Sports fans can get a bit boisterous when they lose. Apparently, even a draw can spark mayhem.
Football violence on the streets of Rome that's prompted an outcry over damage to the city's historic monuments.
In 2015, the Netherlands Feyenoord Football Club visited Rome, Italy in the first leg of the Europa League's round of 32. After the match ended 1-1, the Dutch football fans went insane in the capital, causing a riot to spark. At one point, they attacked the iconic Fontana della Barcaccia, which was made in the 1600s.
The mayor, Ignacio Marino, took to Twitter to decry the mess created at the recently restored Barcaccia fountain. He tweets that the violence is unacceptable. saying it's not the people of Rome who should have to pay.
In 2021, 6 Feyenoord fans were sentenced in absentia for vandalizing the fountain, earning them various sentences from 3 years and 8 months to 4 years in jail. The damage the riot did to the fountain and Rome was estimated to be 5.2 million euros, nearly $6.4 million at the time. Number 11. Art attack. Have you ever had an argument with a partner and gone into a museum and destroyed millions of dollars worth of artwork? No? Then you mustn't be Brian Hernandez. In 2022, after getting angry at his girlfriend, Hernandez broke into the Dallas Museum of Art one night.
21-year-old Brian Hernandez is charged with criminal mischief. Dallas police say he evaded security guards at the museum, smashed glass casings, and destroyed ancient Greek items.
He then went into various rooms, smashing display cases and the pricey artwork inside, as well as the building's technology. Even Native American artwork and ancient Greek artifacts were destroyed.
It was just his anger that drove that person to do what he did.
Eventually, after 15 minutes, security guards arrived and managed to stop Hernandez's rampage. However, it was too late, as he had caused an estimated $5.2 million in damages. Unsurprisingly, Hernandez was arrested and charged for his relationship tantrum.
Number 10. Hungry Karen. We all get hangry sometimes, but most of us don't resort to an outburst like Tiana Jones had in 2022. After visiting the McDonald's drive-thru in Lakeland, Florida, she realized her order was wrong.
The sheriff says Jones' sister tried to get her to chill. Nope. Employees offered to reimburse her. Didn't work. She flipped out even more.
So she stormed inside and verbally laid into workers. Then Jones began chucking anything within her reach, some of which struck employees. After her sister came in to drag her away, Jones showed her pregnant stomach and twerked before leaving.
As a grand finale, she whipped up a little shake of her own.
She pulls her shirt up. There you go. There's a little twerk on the way out the door.
Next, she called 911 about the wrong order. Yikes. Altogether, Jones's rampage came to around $100, and she was later arrested. The sheriff didn't help the situation by using as many McDonald's puns as possible in a press conference, which included calling Jones a McMess.
I don't know if she was like 2 fries short of a Happy Meal, or maybe it was she was short of the Happy Meal completely, but she created a McMess.
Number 9. Airport parent. Losing your kid in a public place is one of the worst things that can happen to a parent.
Cell phone cameras rolling as an upset woman appears to shout for her kids on Tuesday in the middle of Terminal D.
However, there are better ways of dealing with it than Camilla McMillie did in 2022. While at the Miami International Airport, her children disappeared. McMillie lost it with the gate agent and screamed for them to find her kids. Then she attacked technology. McMillie damaged a boarding pass reader and threw a computer monitor at the employee, injuring them.
Officers say McMillie lost track of her kids and became upset. That's when she started shouting at workers.
Eventually, she was restrained and later arrested and charged for her behavior, which she apologized for. The kids were located in the restroom, having wandered off without telling McMillie. During a rampage, she caused $10,000 worth of damage.
25-year-old Camilla McMill is facing charges of aggravated battery, criminal mischief, and disorderly conduct.
Number 8. Nasty nuptials. Karens and weddings are a horrible mix. In 2022, one woman had an expensive tantrum in Chongqing, China. She went to a bridal shop to request a refund of her $550 deposit for a wedding package. However, the store refused. So did the Karen leave without further incident? No, of course not. She took some scissors and cut away the pricey gowns on display while being filmed by staff. Altogether, she destroyed 32 dresses, causing $11,000 worth of damage. Unsurprisingly, Wedding Karen was arrested for her snippy display. Reportedly, she offered to pay the store around $4,700 in compensation. However, considering that's less than half of the damages, her offer wasn't accepted. Number 7. Sauce scandal. Some restaurants are happy to give you extra sauce for your dipping needs for free. Others may require a fee. It's just how the world works.
Now, this was the scene inside Belle Fry's restaurant early Sunday morning. The chaos breaking out over the price of extra condiments.
However, in 2022, Pearl Azoria, Chitaro Placencia, and Tatiana Johnson weren't happy with the additional $1.75 charge at the Belle Fry's in Manhattan, New York. Rather than decline and leave, the trio went on a massive rampage, destroying and throwing anything in sight.
The video shows the women wrecking the place, jumping over the counter, tossing appliances, bottles of sauce, throwing everything and anything within reach at the workers.
That included cash registers, chairs, and glass bottles, some of which struck staff. When the cops arrived, they reportedly attacked them too. Altogether, the trio caused up to $20,000 worth of destruction and were charged with several counts, including robbery, criminal mischief, and assault.
They did arrest 3 women in their 20s and are now facing felony charges.
Number 6. Gas Station Rampage. In June 2023, LaShonda Angeline Johnson was banned from the Eagle Stop gas station in Columbia, Missouri. In November of the same year, she went back for more.
This cell phone video here shows the person throwing and smashing, plenty of items throughout the store.
According to Johnson, the staff were taking photos and harassing her, which is a possibility if she had caused issues previously. Regardless, she exploded in rage.
They're smashing registers, computers, and even 2 slushy machines that you see here.
Johnson went around the store, smashing and throwing anything she could before driving away. However, she was later arrested at her home and charged for her frenzy. Johnson smashed a cash register, many liquor bottles, 2 drink machines, and various products, which totaled around $26,500 in damages altogether. Number 5. The Christmas Vandal. Typically, people will have fun during the holidays, having a calm and relaxing time with friends and family. But not if you're Anna Mikhailovich in Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Police say Anna Mikhailovich cut into and spray painted cars, slashed tires, and threw bricks through doors.
In 2023, as folks opened gifts on December 25th, Mikhailowicz wandered around the neighborhood, damaging vehicles and property. She keyed and spray-painted cars, threw rocks through windows, and slashed tires during her several hours of vandalism.
Neighbors in the area now sort out the lines left in their cars and holes in their homes.
Just don't know why someone would do something like that.
However, a lot of it was caught on camera. The police caught her in the act of destruction. It's estimated that Mikhailowicz's tirade cost up to $200,000. She's charged with 15 felonies and 9 misdemeanors of criminal damage.
Preliminary charges from police show Mikhailovich faces felony and misdemeanor counts of criminal damage to property and resisting arrest.
Number 4. Pipe pillager. Tiffany Vanessa Bradley isn't exactly a beloved resident at the Rise at 19th Apartment Complex in Tacoma, Washington.
People on fixed incomes need to find a new place to stay after police say one of their neighbors destroyed a pipe in their Tacoma apartment complex and caused $2 million in damage.
After all, her neighbors have spoken about her screaming and kicking their doors. But in 2023, Bradley went too far. She damaged a fire stand pipe, which is used to give firefighters access to water. This caused the apartment complex to be drenched in water as it gushed out of the pipe in the early hours.
Investigators say on March 9th, 42-year-old Tiffany Vanessa Bradley flooded the building. Documents I obtained say she tampered with a valve inside the complex, causing water to run for 2.5 hours.
Due to the damage from the broken valve, 32 tenants out of 64 had to leave their homes and find temporary accommodation. Bradley's actions are believed to have caused around $2 million worth of damage to the building. Unsurprisingly, she was arrested and charged for her vandalism.
Monday, Bradley, who lived in the apartment complex, appeared in court. She's charged with malicious mischief for allegedly causing $2 million in damages to the apartment complex.
Number 3. Expensive smooch. There's a well-known rule when it comes to looking at pieces in an art gallery. Keep your hands off. Unfortunately, Rindy Sam couldn't keep her lips to herself. In 2007, she was at the Museum of Contemporary Art in Avignon, France, which had an exhibition by American artist Cy Twombly. Sam decided to kiss the all-white Phaedrus artwork, leaving a red lipstick stain behind. She later described it as an act of love. Worth $2.8 million at the time, restorers couldn't completely remove Sam's mark from the Phaedrus. Sam was fined $2,200 by the gallery, the painting's owner, and the artist Twombly. In 2009, she was ordered to pay a further 18,840 euros, around $24,100 in restoration costs. Number 2. Portrait punch. If you had a long history of crime and wanted to get back at the state, what would you do? Whatever it is, it won't be what Andrew Shannon did in 2012. While at the National Gallery of Ireland in Dublin, he pretended to faint when looking at Claude Monet's Argenture basin with a single sailboat and punched a hole through the artwork. At the time, the work was worth 10 million euros, around $13.7 million. It took 18 months to restore the painting with microscopic needlework. However, 7% of the work couldn't be saved. In 2014, Shannon was sentenced to 6 years in jail with 15 months suspended. Learning nothing, in 2018, he was sentenced to 2 years for handling stolen artwork.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Hail Mary lawsuit. In 2019, after attending a Marilyn Manson gig, Daniela Lays' evening took a real dive. After drinking at the venue, she started driving back to her house in Ontario, Canada.
Lees did get behind the wheel. According to the agreed statement of facts at her criminal trial, she crashed her vehicle into a home on Woodman Avenue, severing the gas line and causing an explosion.
However, Lays crashed and struck a gas pipe at a residence, causing it to leak. An explosion rocked the neighborhood, destroying several properties. Amazingly, no one perished. Reportedly, Lays caused up to $15 million in damage. In 2021, after pleading guilty to 4 counts, she was sentenced to 3 years in prison, and several lawsuits were filed against her.
In October 2020, Lees pleaded guilty to 4 counts of impaired driving causing bodily harm, ultimately being sentenced to 3 years in prison.
Yet, the tale doesn't end there. In 2023, Lays issued her own lawsuit against the company that supplied the venue she drank at on that fateful night, arguing they should share liability.
The statement of claim says, among other things, the company served her alcohol, didn't monitor how much she was drinking, let her drink more than she should have, and ejected her from the venue without making sure she was not going to drive impaired.
Have you ever accidentally damaged an item that's worth a lot of cash? Let us know in the comments.
So embarrassing.
Well, why would you have an opportunity to kick the podium?